Welcome. You're watching To The Point. Let's get you up to speed with the very latest. Rhea Chakraborty is finally being interrogated by the CBI. Rhea, Sushant's girlfriend and prime accused, is now being grilled by the CBI for almost 8 hours. According to sources, Rhea was asked to carry with her documents of her account and transaction details as well as her property papers. She's also carrying her doctor's prescriptions and consultation acknowledgement of her therapy sessions. Today is the first time Rhea is being questioned by the CBI in the case. This comes nearly a week after the CBI began its probe in the late actor's death case. This is also Shobik's second round of questioning. He was questioned yesterday by the CBI. Rhea has been accused by Sushant's family of murdering the actor and siphoning off 15 crores from his account. Rhea, though, has denied all these charges against her in her exclusive interview to India Today. In the past, Rhea had already been grilled by the ED twice in the Sushant Singh Rajput money trail probe. Currently, the CBI is also grilling flatmate Patani, cook Neeraj and former house manager Samuel Miranda. Sources have suggested that Rhea's confrontation with any other suspect or any other witness is unlikely. It will not happen. All right, the latest news break coming in. Rhea's marathon interrogation for the last 8 hours is still underway. That's the latest that we are getting in right now. Rhea is being questioned right now for 8 hours running by the CBI. She's been given certain questions that she needs to answer. Most of those questions, viewers, she has already answered yesterday with an exclusive interview with India Today. I want to cut across right now to my colleague Sahil Joshi, who's joining us live. Sahil, would you get us up to speed with the very latest in terms of interrogation of Rhea Chakraborty? 8 straight hours of questioning. Her brother today is being questioned for the second day running as well.
Well, right now the questioning is on at where the CBI has put up their put up the people there at DRDO guest house. It's Rhea Chakraborty, her brother, then Siddharth Pithani is also there, and the Samuel, who is to work for Sushant Singh Rajput, is also there. So obviously they will be questioning each of them separately, and then of course there will be a confrontation which might happen. She's still inside. If you remember, even Enforcement Directorate had questioned her straight 10 to 12 hours, and that is also 2 days continuously. So it's likely that the CBI questioning is going to go on even for a longer time. This is after this is after a long time. Before that, the CBI had already questioned various people with regards to this case, specifically those who were present on 14th of June at Sushant Singh's house. Of course, they haven't called Me Too yet, because the CBI has been questioned a lot of people who have been in Sushant's house right from 8th of June. That is Sushant's cook Neeraj, Keshav, Deepak, Dipesh. All these people have been questioned before. Meetu was also there living with Sushant from 8th June to 12th of June, but she has not been asked questions yet. But rest of the gang has been questioned till now. They want to know what happened on 8th of June. Of course, there will be questions with respect to the drug, the chats which mentions various drugs. There will also be questions about Sushant's mental health issues, which Rhea has claimed, and of course the financial angle, which of course the ED has also investigated, but because the family's original FIR claims that there is a financial misappropriation, so obviously those questions are also being asked. We'll have to wait and see that what happens next. CBI
a minute ago, visuals came in of Siddharth Pithani right now also reaching, the CBI. Where, of course, the CBI is conducting, the DRDO office where the CBI is conducting investigation. Is there a chance that she could be interfaced, or she could, they might be putting Siddharth Pithani, the staff, up against Rhea in interrogation, or they are all going to be interrogated separately?
No, obviously there will be a confrontation between the witness and the Rhea Chakraborty, of course, because Siddharth Pithani yesterday, as per CBI sources, he claimed that there was a destruction of the hard drives which happened at Sushant's house on 8th of June in presence of Sushant Singh Rajput and Rhea Chakraborty. The charge which Rhea has completely refuted, saying that nothing of that sort happened in front of her. So obviously there are certain things which needs to be corroborated. There are certain things which needs to be confronted. Everyone must be having their own version. So all these things will that is the standard procedure of any interrogation and investigation, which all will be applied even in this case as well.
All right, appreciate you joining us, Sahil. We're going to continue to come back to you with the very latest updates. What we can tell our viewers is it seems Rhea Chakraborty would be confronted with the likes of Siddharth Patani and the other staff members. As of now, she's being interrogated for 8 hours running, and Siddharth Patani has just come into the DRDO office where CBI is using it as a premise to go on investigating the various personas who are a part of what went down. I want to connect right now to Pankaj Upadhyay. He's on the phone line with me right outside the DRDO office. Pankaj, it seems Siddharth Patani, who's just come in, will in all probability be confronted with Rhea Chakraborty, who's already being interrogated right now inside.
Yes, Preeti, that's likely to happen. In an interesting development today, first Siddharth Patani, who is the flatmate and the creative content manager with Sushant Singh Rajput, entered DRDO office in the morning hours, and then after some time he was taken to the Central Bureau of Investigation Mumbai office, that is at BKC, and there he was quizzed by the CBI officials separately for more than 5 hours. Now it's very unclear right now. The CBI sources are also tight-lipped as to why he was taken there. Additionally, what we are also learning through our sources is that some more people were quizzed at the CBI Mumbai office. We do not know who these people really were. CBI officers are tight-lipped at this point of time. But now, Siddharth Patani is back at the DRDO facility. And since Rhea Chakraborty has already been quizzed through the day separately by the CBI officials, and now, as the sources were telling us before, in all likelihood, once the first stage, that is of grilling her exclusively, that is over, then perhaps she will be confronted in front of the prime witnesses. Whether it's going to be only Siddharth Patani or whether Neeraj, Keshav, Samuel Miranda, all these people are going to be in front of her as well. We do not know that. But definitely what the sources told us, that there are 2 rounds of all the procedures that the CBI will be following. One, that would be grilling Rhea Chakraborty separately, and after the statements have been taken, then she would be put in front of the prime witnesses as well.
All right, Pankaj, appreciate you joining us. Now, I just want to shift focus. So what you just got was the latest information of Rhea Chakraborty, her brother Shovik, both of them being interrogated. Right now, as we speak, Siddharth Patani is coming. He's now going to be confronted with Rhea on the sequence of events. We're going to continue to get you the very latest, but I want to quickly shift focus to the other big development that could view us somewhere down the line, possibly change the narrative of this story. Till now, there has been a lot of conjecture on the mental health of Sushant Singh Rajput. We might have a confirmation right now, or rather we do have a confirmation right now, which would change that narrative. 75 days after Sushant Singh Rajput's death, the big question that remains is whether it was suicide or murder. Speaking exclusively to India Today, Rhea Chakraborty spoke about Sushant being diagnosed with depression. Now, India Today has accessed Sushant Singh Rajput's psychiatrist's statement to Mumbai police. This is not conjecture. This is not hearsay. This is a statement. Contradictory to what the late actor's family claims, Sushant's psychiatrist says that he had stopped taking his medications. He was suffering from acute depression, grave anxiety, and an existential crisis. In the first week of June, he had a massive panic attack. He also warned, and this is important, this is, we're not making this up, it's a statement. He also warned Sushant might take an extreme path if he stops medication. Here's the full report.
Sushant Singh Rajput was suffering from hyperanxiety, depression and existential crisis, and might have stopped taking medicines in the days leading to his death. His psychiatrist had also warned the actor could take the extreme path if he stayed off medicines. India Today has accessed the statement given to Mumbai police by Dr. Rhea Chakraborty, the psychiatrist who was treating Sushant. Dr. Chavda's statement details Sushant's mental health issues since he sought treatment from him. The doctor says that 2 days before Sushant was admitted to Hinduja Hospital on November 27th, the actor's manager Shruti Modi had called him to the Waterstone Hotel where Sushant was staying. Sushant's therapist claims he was dejected after his mother's demise and adds that the actor continued smoking despite being advised against it. Dr. Chavda says that in December 2019, Sushant said that he did not feel like working anymore. In February, however, he claims that Sushant's condition improved, but he stopped taking medicines. In March 2020, Dr. Chawda received a call again and was told Sushant was feeling depressed again and wanted to leave Mumbai. On June 8th, the day Rhea left Sushant's house, Dr. Chawda received a call from Rhea who said Sushant was depressed and wasn't taking medicines. Dr. Chawda says he warned that the actor could resort to the extreme path if he didn't take medicines and his condition deteriorated. Rhea Chakraborty, in her exclusive interview to India Today, had revealed how she and Sushant parted ways that very day.
Sushant was behaving very slightly aloof with me. और बार बार मुझे कह रहे थे कि तुम घर जाओ और ये घर जाओ कहीं 2nd 3rd जून से 1st जून से ही शुरू हो गया था कि मुझे तो कूल शिफ्ट करना ही है तुम घर जाओ.
The statement given by Sushant's therapist to Mumbai police counters his family's claims that Sushant was not depressed.
या तो उनको सेटअप किया गया था कि सुशांत को किसी तरह से डिस्ट्रॉय करो, या उनको उन्होंने देखा कि अब ये मेरे कोई काम का नहीं रहा, क्योंकि मानसिक स्थिति को कंट्रोल करने के लिए जो अगर आप ड्रग किसी को देंगे तो मानसिक स्थिति फिर उसकी इतनी खराब हो जाती है कि फिर आपके काम का नहीं रह जाता है.
When Dr. Chawda asked Sushant on why he'd stopped the medication, he just smiled and did not respond. Dr. Chawda had also warned that stopping the medication could have extreme effects. With camera person Kiran Sapkal and Sahil Joshi, this is Divyesh Singh in Mumbai for India Today.
All right, so once again, I want to point out that this is not conjecture, it's not source-based information. This is actually a bona fide document which has been signed by not just one, not just by Dr. Chawda, but by 4 psychiatrists allegedly being consulted by Sushant, and this was in as record of interrogation with the Mumbai police, and they've handed this over right now to the CBI. So it is with the CBI. However, we're going to play out those graphics of the content of what was said in that, especially by Dr. Chawda, and I want to bring in Dr. Deepak Raheja, who's a psychiatrist. Dr. Raheja, I don't want to really get into the case, want you to get into the case at all. But, Dr. Chawda in this case has said that Sushant stopped taking medication. First week of June, he was suffering from a big panic attack, grave anxiety, depression, existential crisis. What is existential crisis, doctor?
So, existential crisis would be a state where the whole being, the whole existence of the person is challenged in his own eyes, So it could lead to a state of a void, an extremely anxious state where the whole reason and the questions about life and death and why one was alive and why one was, doing what he was doing could be challenged, So it can be an extremely conflicting state, which can lead to for people to either move on and experience the next level of existence and their reasons for their presence in this life, or it can prompt them into taking extreme steps and also believing that life was not worthy of living. So an existential crisis is something that would be of concern, would be of worry to a lot of time. A turbulence like this can shake people up and make them move on to the next level of enlightenment. Gautam Buddha had an existential crisis and then he moved on to attain enlightenment. But if not appropriately handled, when a person is depressed, when a person is going through a period of sadness, it can lead to an extremely turbulent and dissonant cognitive state, a state of extreme anxiety.
Doctor, we're going to go across to our reporter as well on this, because they're going to actually read out that entire copy in just about a minute. Would you also tell me what happens when somebody who is consulting a doctor, is on prescribed medication, decides to leave his medication? What happens then?
So, the usual protocol is that these medications are advised to be weaned off. Otherwise, the individual who's taking them can have what is called as a discontinuation syndrome, which can by itself leads to a heightened state of anxiety. So mostly we recommend our patients when they decide to go off the medication, or medically now it is not required for them to continue the medication, for them to start petering it off, and that's the right thing to do. So in this case, as I'm told, as Dr. Karsi Chawla's report says, that he abruptly stopped the medication, I think he's rightfully in his document trying to advise them to not abruptly go off the medication and to continue it, and in this case possibly not wean it off. But this is perhaps the prerogative of the treating psychiatrist, Dr. Chawla, because he's the one who did the last few mental status examination and would know best what the mental state of Sushant Singh Rajput possibly was.
Doctor, appreciate you joining us. A couple of points that we'd like to raise in this statement, which is once again, it's a bona fide statement documented with the Mumbai police, which is now handed over to the CBI. Now, 4 psychiatrists have signed up on this, and the report is also signed by Dr. Chawla, the same doctor which Rhea Chakraborty named yesterday in our interview that Sushant was consulting with. And in this there is information which has been given as a statement by Dr. Chawla that Rhea spoke to him on the 8th and said that from now on the treatment of Sushant would be handled by the sister because she was leaving. More so in the statement, there is also, that doesn't have a date, but there is also a line which says that Dr. Chawla spoke to Sushant on why did he leave his medication. Sushant just laughed. But ultimately, the one statement which could pretty much change the narrative in all of this is Dr. Chawla's statement where he says Sushant stopped taking medications and then suffered an acute panic attack in the first week of June, which was followed by depression, severe anxiety, and an existential crisis. Thank you all for joining us. Up next is Rahul Kamal. Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.